Hello, babe. Uh, I'm eating quiche. I don't want to move the phone because I don't have a stand for it. I hope you can hear me okay. I don't know if the phone is using this or that. I really do need a shave because I look like a caveman. But it's hard to see because I put so much sauce on it. But uh, yeah, it's quiche. If you don't know quiches, or maybe you do, I don't know how internationally known it is, but quiches. It's egg. Uh, there's bits of like bacon in mine, but it's a pastry, so it's sort of like a pie. With the pastry, the center of it is all kind of soggy, but in a good way. My mother hates it because she hates that type of eggy kind of taste. But even though I hate eggy taste with some sweet stuff, I don't mind it in quiches. My mum does like quiches, but I love it. So I buy quiches every week, really, and it's not the worst thing to eat, uh, because it's not a pizza or something. But yeah, I'm going to eat, and I'll probably do this, but that's not because I don't want you to see. It's just how I basically have a Coca-Cola holding it up, a celebrations box, which is a sweet company over here. Uh, it's a box of full of sweets. It used to be my mother gave it to me for Christmas, but it's all filled with just random junk, like that I need. Like so if I needed something in the living room, I would just uh, search my celebrations box to find it. So that's what's keeping this phone up, and I hope you can hear me okay. So I hope you don't mind. It's a nice idea because I'll be eating anyway. Uh, and because I haven't made a cooking video in a while, I uh, I can maybe do this. Uh, and seeing that it is the week of our 6 month anniversary, you know, consider the celebrations kind of a week long. If that it makes sense. So it's like the celebrations can still begin, even though uh, we're not on the 27th yet. But sorry if I go silent for a few seconds because I want the uh, don't want the dinner to be cold. And sorry if I eat with my mouth full. It's just how it would be. Like because I'm talking to you and you said you don't mind eating. I hope my manners are okay. Um, but yeah, I don't like the way I look with a beard. I look very dirty. Just when I take pictures, certain pictures are okay, but now it's uh, I want to clip it tonight before I meet Osmond tomorrow. But I might not do that, so I'm not certain. But it's either going to be Friday or Saturday. Saturday will be the day I. The Saturday will be the day that I shave my hair. Like it's not extremely long, but I want to just because it's spring and it's going to get warm. I cut my hair. Sorry again if there's periods of silence. I do have to eat, but I hope you don't mind it. I loved our call last night. It that was just lovely, lovely to do it again. The time really, really sped up. Like I didn't realize what was it, nearly 3 hours. It just felt like maybe an hour and a half or something, but in a good way. Time goes fast when you're having fun, I guess. So I'm going to check the. By the time you're watching this, at this part, I am actually going to check the uh, the meal uh, app to see if there's any updates on the postage of the shirt. Um, like I said yesterday, and I sent the screenshots. It was in England and Milton Keynes, and it could be out of the country now. And as soon as it gets out of the country, they won't have any updates again. Because it's out of the Royal Mail's hands. Then it's international, so it goes to whomever. So if they're that taking that long to get it out of the UK, then it's going to be a bit difficult to get it by Monday. But maybe the updates are slow, so I don't want to write that off either. Drink some water. So blue, blue, and I didn't even realize, it snuck up on me that I liked blue so much. It just was random. Um, I never realized that. It's like, what's your favorite color? Well, there's not many to choose from. That's if you're going by the base colors, like yellow, red, blue, black, brown, whatever like that. But there's many subcategories, like cyan or maroon. So, when you're a kid, you don't know all about that. So I don't know what I chose, really. Um, it was probably red or blue, maybe. Maybe I did choose blue, but I didn't know myself that I liked blue so much, and the light blue cyan until the last few years. If you remember to reply about this, what about, because I might ask it anyway, but I might forget. But if you remember, ask me, um, or sorry, I'll ask, what do you find so interesting about me eating dinner? I'm not saying that I don't like the video. I like doing this actually. It's a good idea. Another good idea, Eileen. It's a wonderful, wonderful time when you come up with all these good ideas. Um, but the question is kind of like what, uh, even though yes, you're seeing me, but what it is about the dinner part, that makes it maybe more special, or maybe it is just to see me, which is understandable. But if there's an additional element, I don't know it, but I can really speculate what it is. So let me know, and I love that you feel that way. My mum made a big effort to put your address on the packaging. So she was telling me that yesterday about when we had this phone call, or whatever day was they had the phone call. I think it was yesterday. Um, that yeah, she didn't do anything like that before, so she had to sign something saying what it is and the value of it. Um, she didn't know the value of it, so she just rounded up higher. So she paid £20. I can't remember what that is in peso, but it's not going to cost £20. Definitely not. However, it's going to, let's say it costs 15 or 10. Like, she doesn't know that, so she just kind of made sure. So she put it as 20, just to, like, I don't know the rules, but I'm assuming, like, if you misrepresented something very expensive, you might be getting in trouble, or your mail might not be sent. But yeah, she told me that. Now, when I think about it, there's a lot of people who do mukbangs. Uh, and before that, there was just like a video of someone eating, and the way they created the video, it's like they're right in front of the user. So if I was watching my TV, it would be like someone with me eating dinner. So it it's a nice thought. It's a quite sad thing that people have to resort to that because they feel lonely, and they, like, because of the mass loneliness epidemic, because people are more uh, on their phones and stuff. And I know I sound like an old man saying, "Oh, people need to be off their phones," but no, I'm, me, I'm obsessed with technology. But yeah, the social aspect of it, it's it's not just that. It's definitely not just the social media or the technology, but um, yeah, there's many reasons why this rise in loneliness for men and women has has arisen, and like, I don't know in my head whether or not it's a hindrance because it encourages people to watch that stuff more, but it might just be a sticky plaster, like trying to dress a wound. Let's say uh, a gaping, sorry, doing that stupid thing again. But oh, I hate it. It's only when I'm talking a lot and trying to think a lot, like I don't do it when I'm not talking. So sorry about that. Um, well, if you don't think I look disgusting, then that's good. That's a definitely a good plus. That's another good step. For example, let's just say an alternate universe, you hated the way I looked eating and you hated the way I ate and all of the demeanor and stuff I was, then that would be a problem, of course. But obviously, like, people have to eat, and maybe some people don't look nice when they eat, especially if somebody was crying. Like, everybody looks ugly when they cry, for example. So I'm meeting Osmond in the morning. Um, I'm getting up at 9:30, which is 5:30. Um, yeah, I think it's 5:30. Where you're, um, so I might be able to text a little, like, because I'll be getting ready, for example, for an hour, like breakfast, shower, and stuff like that. Um, I might not be able to text much because I want to get everything done and then text so I can make sure that everything's ready. Like I'm prepared and I look all right. Uh, so it's interesting, like, just to see how much I get done in that hour and how much time left there is. That's if you are awake. Obviously, you don't need to be. If you don't need to be, but let's just say you are, then I could text you a bit, which would be nice. I could text you on the way. I find it very difficult to text while I'm walking. Like, doing it on this phone, I literally could text backwards. I literally could. I swear to God. Like, like I could. But my head is so intertwined with this mobile that it's like it's just another. It's an extension of yourself. Like, that's how much I know this phone, because I had this phone now 4 years. The phone before that, I had it for 10 years. So, and that phone was pretty much exactly the same as that one, with a few minor changes. This one is more up to date, but that's why I'm so used to that phone. And I could do that while I'm walking, but it's more difficult when it's a touchscreen. For me anyway. Even though I should be okay because I'm using technology so much, I should be good at that. Maybe the reason I'm not is because I don't do it often. Like if I'm trying to change music or something, sometimes I fumble it a bit. But just to be kind of going back a bit, definitely not trying to say bad things about the people that watch the eating videos and the people that actually, like create the food videos. Like a bit. I think it would be very different if it was like me, a boyfriend doing it. Let's say he had a good setup and he could do it for his girlfriend. So it's like, for example, if you were eating dinner now and you were watching this while you're eating dinner, it would be like we're sitting across from each other. I'm eating my dinner, you're eating your dinner, and I'm talking to you. I suppose a live stream could be like that too. Or sorry, I mean like a video call. But yeah, so definitely, I don't like people being lonely because I felt like that before in the past, and it's haunting. It's a terrible feeling, babe. I can't remember the name of that fruit, but I'll remember the fruit that smells. Uh, but I don't. I don't mind if it smells. I mind about the taste. It looked like a mango, but I've never ate mango before. But I ate an ice cream that was mango flavored, and of course, there's not real mango in that. It's just the flavoring. But I hated that ice cream. Like I hated that ice cream. I like sugar stuff, and I hated it. So whenever I hear someone liking mango, like my dad likes mangoes, I just kind of go, because I'm thinking about that particular ice cream, but I'm willing to try it. I suppose I could love it. The food I don't like and I don't want to eat is onions, and I explained after a few bites here. It's not a bad idea if you don't mind. Like watching me while you eat. You could do the same for me. I would love that. I would love that, honestly. Really, 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 really. I'm just thinking in my head, you going, nah, no way. I mean that. I would love that. So you don't need to like talk or something like I do. I know you're, like if you're a bit quiet, it's okay. It's eating dinner, but it's like I would feel more connected to you, and it's not like we're not anyway, but it would be a friendly addition to it. It would be a big bonus. Like it is important to do it, of course. If you don't want to, I understand that, but um, yeah, it would be nice. So if you're thinking about it, know that my answer is I will definitely do more of these. So I'll automatically do one more of these. I just maybe need reminding because my memory could go really bad and I could forget to do it. And it's not because it's not important, but I can only focus on one thing at a time because my brain just feels scrambled if I'm trying to think of two things and dealing with two things, whether it's good or bad. I could be dealing with two good things, but still have my brain screwed up a bit. Um, so yeah, that question I asked earlier, what like I know it's not. I'm not saying it in the right way when I say this, but what do you gain from it? And I don't mean that in a cheeky way. It sounds cheeky when saying it, but what I mean is like, um, what do you like about it? Is what I'm kind of saying. You're like, of course, seeing me, I know you love that. So it sounds I'm boasting, but I love you and you love me, and I already know that you love just seeing me anytime, any day of the week. So yeah, almost finished. So my mum is coming up on Monday, um, and I'm leaving with her to go to my dad's. She gets on the bus that goes through Oma. That's where my dad lives, and then she lives in Strabane, so she stays on the bus when I get off it, because Oma's 20 miles away from Strabane. Now, when I think about it, and please remind me if I don't do it in the next hour or so, if you remember, my uncle was over here. Like I mentioned before, he was up visiting with my mother and father. That was a crazy day. It was fun. But my uncle, he knows how much I love my granny, and how important she is to me. She is extremely important. Like, put it this way, she's third, like in the family. So I'm not including you, of course, because you're number one. What I mean is in the family. Like it's a tie at the top, one and two, because I don't like making the favorite out of my mother or father. It seems like whoever's the loser there is, like is kind of like put down. But no, um, so my mother and father are the top two, and then if I had sisters and stuff like that, they would probably be next, brothers and stuff. But because it's not, like my granny definitely, she's the most important. I'll tell you a very very short story after I eat this. No, this was easy enough. I was kind of a bit awkward about it, but the thing is what I always said before is once it is difficult sometimes for me to get started. I kind of procrastinate and I kind of go, but I don't want to bother. And I don't mean with this, but I mean like any project that I have, I'd be like, I'm not in the mood. But then it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe more, 10 to 15 minutes after starting whatever I wanted to do. Then I get on a roll, and then it's like, oh yeah, I'm in the mood to do this project or something like that. So I just need that initial poke of encouragement, and I know that more about myself now. Almost finished. Yeah. By the way, I know people eat a knife and a fork. Um, yeah, I because I eat pizzas, not all the time now. I'm cutting down to maybe one every 10 days instead of once a week. But because of that, I just got used to eating with this. So it's more appropriate with the pastry and stuff, so it cuts better. I just, like I'm so used to using this knife now, uh, that I use it for every dinner, no matter if it's salad or something. So it's just a bit quirky, like what's the point in following everybody else just to follow everybody else? I'm not saying you need to cause chaos and eat with your hands. I just mean like if it works, if something particularly works for you, that's not too crazy, then fine. If you want to eat, if you eat with two forks, fine. There's nothing against it at all. It might be a bit kind of odd, not necessarily odd, but people might think that. But if it works for the person, then that's what they need to realize. I don't know why I'm not going to move the mobile. I don't know why I'm showing you an empty plate. Um, but I could set it up better next time. Um, well, I'm done with that, so I'll move this over here. Yeah, so the more videos and stuff, the more you get to know me. Um, hang on. Yeah, so, oh, um, my mind's gone. Because I'm stuffed now, I might be quiet for a couple of minutes. But and because I'm on a roll now, I'm going to keep recording for a while. Um, very good mood, fantastic mood. Like yesterday was amazing. That video call was just so enlightening and uh, so much warmth in my heart during and after that video call. And I don't know. As you know, I always say I don't read people well, and maybe I do to a certain degree know people. Like their kind of mood and stuff, but I'm not as good as maybe the average person. But I just felt that you were very, very, very happy afterwards, after the call, and then today. So I'm not necessarily boasting, saying it's because of me. Oh yeah, that was me doing an invisible tie, by the way. But it's like, yeah, that's me, all right. That's because of me. No, it's even if it wasn't to do with me, I'm still delighted that you're happy. Whatever makes you happy makes me happy. And if, for example, me making you happy um, is the reason you're happy, then I feel even better. It's like I'm honored the fact that I make your day better and your life happier. Like even if it's just for a few hours and stuff. 'Cause it's important to me, and of course it's important to you. Like I want you to be happy all the time. Nobody's life is ever going to be like that, but you get what I mean. Like I'm trying my best to, and I have done a lot with my personality. No one can really change who they are. Like there's things hard coded in themselves. Oh, by the way, yeah, the video or the voice recordings that I sent earlier, the voice messages, they were quite low. So I really hope that that this video has decent quality. Because if it's like very low because the phone was so far away when I was eating, I'd be devastated if you couldn't hear. Oh, so I'm a bit nervous when I go off here in a minute. Like to see if it actually did um, properly. Um, like record the voices okay. Um, I'm sure it will, but the what was I saying? The personality. Yeah, no one can really change the hard coded stuff in them. like, and I don't mean things like autism. I just mean like if someone grows up and they like football, like let's just say when they were growing up, they liked football, but the person that did like football, that person maybe was depressed a lot and negative, maybe not necessarily angry or whatever, but basically his personality was um, damaging towards him, and he wasn't doing too well, but he still loved football. Uh, and let's just say he, for some reason, found the light, and whatever made him change, and like slowly change, if it was tiny, tiny, small changes after a certain amount of time, or if it was one big thing that really, made him better. Whatever way, it's like he could be a person that went from, like I said, depressed and, was a very sad person, that looked at the world negatively, but they still like football. And if they became, a really, really, not doesn't that necessarily need to be successful, but success to a degree. Let's just say if the person didn't have a job when he was depressed, but in the good light, he did have a job and he was doing fantastic with his mental health, and he was on top of the world, and he also knows how to manage it so it's not going to go backwards. So he knows that there's always a small chance, so he needs to do more work to ensure that he doesn't go back to those days. Um, so, like I was saying, the main core of it is basically that happy person is still going to like football, but because it's hard coded into them, like so if it just whatever the person was exposed to as a kid, because there's a lot of nostalgia about it. Me with video games, I remember the specific moment that I first even seen a video game, and I don't know my facial reaction, but I remember feeling and thinking like, "Wow, this is what is this? It's so fascinating." And then like what 26 years later, wouldn't it be? Let's say 26 years later, like I'm here and like I'm big into games. So and yes, I know there are a lot of people that play games all day, and that's dangerous because they need to do other things with their life. If their life was unaffected if someone's life was unaffected by playing video games, as in someone playing a video game for 3 hours, to me that's not much. But let's just say they did. They played for 3 hours every day, spread around 3 or 4 or 5 sessions. Like times they went on and off. So like morning, afternoon, evening, and night. But they still attended to everybody. Like they still had a good chat with their wife. Like he kept the kids happy and he played with the kids. Uh, and he kept his house in order and kept himself clean and stuff like that. Uh, that is when you can officially say, well, that's just a lovely hobby that he loves doing, and it's not affecting him in the slightest. It's like if he was just playing football. However, if someone gets into that video games too much, it's not the video game that's the problem. Because that person, let's say the person was obsessed with it instead, and they spent 10 hours a day, which happens. Not with me. Maybe in the past I did it a couple of times, but you're talking about how many years ago? Hmm. About 18 or 19 years ago. Um, Feels a long time. Um, but then, yeah, things weren't going well with school and whatever like that. And I, yeah, Like I didn't have much of a social life, practically none. I had one friend, um, and yeah, he was into video games too, so it was very encouraging. I also had a cousin who is like a brother to me, Con. I had mentioned him before, but because he plays video games a lot too, and Dean, my friend, like he also played games too, so it was more encouraging to play video games. So, like yeah, I play. If I had a weekend off school, then I would play. Well, it's not if I would have a weekend. When the weekend arrived, I could probably play for 10 hours. But um, back to what I was saying. Sorry for the extra tangent. If the um, if the person was playing for 10 hours, then there's no way. Like let's say the person had a family and two kids, right? Two or three kids. But let's say just say minimum two. For a person to or sorry, it's not possible. It's definitely not possible to manage your life, your home life, your work life around 10 hours on video games. And there's people that do that. I'm not saying people that successfully do it. I mean, there's people who maybe they're a loner and they don't like socializing or whatever reason. But this particular kind of situation, this scenario is what I'm talking about. Is if they had a family, and that's where it becomes hurtful potentially, because if that guy did it for a month or 6 months, yeah, the family would deteriorate, because he'd be spending much less time with his children, he'd be spending much less time with his wife, and he probably would uh, he'd be more inclined to play games than take a shower or like to to go to work. He might make like that's when if you make an excuse specifically to play video games, then yeah, you have a problem. But it's not video games; it's the fact that the person is addicted to something. It doesn't matter what it is. Yes, there is addictive elements in video games, but most of the reason people are addicted to video games, the people that are, is because they're susceptible to be addicted to something. Um, those the people that are generally susceptible from birth in their brain to be more addicted than the average person. Even though a person could be addicted to alcohol, that specific person who had that in their brain that they're more susceptible, they might be a worse drunk. So, like it's an extra disadvantage. It's basically super addiction, so they have that element. They could be addicted to something positive, like exercising or something like that, but too much of anything is eventually dangerous. Put it this way. Let's just say the guy did training. A father did training all the time and he was fit as anything, but he did that for I don't know how long someone would work out each day, but I don't know. I'm not even going to say a time, but let's say he did it a lot every day and he missed out on quite a lot of time with his family. Even though it's a positive thing he's doing, it's still losing time with his family. And for me, that's not what I want at all. I want to make as much time as possible to spend with you or kids, my mother and father, like and my granny as well. Um, the reason I brought up my granny earlier was I was going to say that I'm going to send you, or sorry, what I was telling you was my uncle was up, and what I was going to lead on from that was he was staying at my granny's, his mother's, and he knows that I love my granny so much, like I said. So he took a video and I asked my granny just to say hello to me, and like she still remembers me, and she said that the that I looked the best. I'll put it into a text because I can't remember exactly what way she described it, but basically I was the best dressed person at my mother's wedding. So I don't mean like a wedding years and years ago. I mean like 5 years ago, in 2018, to Vincent, and yeah, so my granny was there that day, and like, it was great to see her and stuff. But yeah, he took a video. Uh, I'll send you that. I'm sure she wouldn't mind that. Like, she doesn't probably care. Like, because she doesn't use a smartphone. She's never used a smartphone. Like, for example, Osmond uses a smartphone and he's 86. Like, but there's people that age that do not touch technology at all. The most technology that my granny touches is digital TV. So she has a HD TV. It's not a smart TV, but she still has like hundreds of channels. So, like, she knows barely how to use that, but she still knows how to use it. So if she screws something up, she can ask my mother to help. But, like, so she doesn't use that. So I'm sure it'd be okay to send you what she had recorded on my uncle's mobile. I got him to send it to me. I'll send you that. And then I made a response video to reply to my granny while my uncle and parents were up that last Monday. Yeah, last Monday. So that would be what, 10 days ago. Um, yeah. So like, I don't know if you'll like it or not. So it's more content from me, but I'll have to put this on YouTube. Uh, I'm tempted to not tell you how long this video is going to be, but if I don't tell you straight away, you might think, why was I away for so long? Uh, like, I don't want you thinking I wasn't bothering with you. So I hope you don't think that, babe. But yeah, I'm going to immediately put this on YouTube. It is going to be I was first going to just send you it on Messenger, but this is way over the limit to send on Messenger. I don't know what the limit is, but it's way over that. But what I'm going to do is put it on YouTube, and it's kind of, let's just say it's like the cooking video. Like, it was just meant for you, like any other video I put out on it. It's for you, and this one's for you. And someone sees me eating as well. Okay, like, if you want to make this more private, then I can make it private. I promise. Like, I can do that. So if it's something you don't want me to share, then I won't. I honestly won't. And if there was something with you, like, let's say appearing on the video, or maybe a photograph or something like that, I would ask you before I put it online. Like, so I would ask for your permission to make it public, because I don't want to make a video public when there's someone shown on the video that you might not like being shown. Maybe you are like that, or maybe you're completely the opposite and you don't mind. But I always want to get a like a confirmation, like a consent to just say, yeah, I'm okay with that. So like, a lot of people might think that's unnecessary, but I do think it's very necessary, because if like, you don't ask, it might upset somebody. Like, and if I didn't ask you, and for some reason, if it did upset you that maybe I showed a photograph, or maybe you didn't like the photograph or whatever that I showed, for example, um, I would completely respect that. By the way, I wouldn't mind. That's why I'm asking. Like, that's why I would ask. Was what I'm saying. Like, I would definitely ask, because I don't want to hurt anybody, of course, and I can never want to hurt you. So I don't want to inadvertently hurt somebody, especially you, babe. So that's why I kind of ask, like, about some particular things, so I don't. cross a line, like the video would example. But yeah, I there was a question. Yes, the question. I'll remind you because I'll forget. Um, what do you find like what the reason you asked to see a video when I said about eating? Uh, Maybe it was coincidence, or maybe you find it a bit more exciting because I'm eating dinner. And if that's the case, why? Like it's not bad. It's just I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious. I would like to see you doing that too. But I should make this a regular enough thing. Um, but yep, my hand is getting. It's going to sound stupid, but my hands. I need to get some kind of stand. Uh, or those things that you could put in the back of your phone. It's going to sound stupid when I show this, but you kind of hold it with two fingers at the back. It's stuck on the back of the phone. I don't know what you can call it. It's a handle or something like that, but it like I've seen it being used and it looks so convenient. Because it takes a lot of rest from the hand and it's a lot easier to grip the mobile so you don't slip like, it slips out of your hand or something. But yeah, I might buy things like that. But babe, this will not be the last time. But I certainly can't wait until uh, the surprise. Not telling you what it is. I hope you enjoyed this video. I did not expect me to talk for most of the video. I mean, like afterwards. But as I said, as soon as I get started, I get on a roll. So I hope you don't mind watching this long of a video. You watch longer, but you don't need to watch it all in one night, babe. Maybe watch it like the eating part and then the part afterwards. But I love you so much, babe. You're my world, and I loved yesterday. It was so magical. It just made me happy. I was just afterwards. I was like, just like that. Oh, I'm stuffed, so I might be burping or something. I don't want to burp, but I hope I don't. I don't know whether or not I should take a nap and then wake up again. So I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to cancel the rest of the day. I don't want to just go to sleep for tonight. Like, there's a lot I still have to do. Like, for the rest of the night. Before I go to sleep. But because I've just had dinner, it's going to make you a bit sleepy. So I might be a bit sleepy for a while, or I might say I'll go for a short nap, which uh, I need something to make sure it's like 15, 30 minutes because that could escalate and has before where I was supposed to go for 1 hour and then 10 hours later I wake up and that's not, like, I'm laughing now because it sounds so silly, but it's not for you when you're expecting me to come back, but and it could happen again. Uh, so I apologize in advance if that happens. Um, the medication I take for epilepsy is very good, and it does stop from seizures. It does make you more tired, and the change in medication that I got, it's not as bad, but it's still going to make you a bit tired. It's still going to have an effect, but the benefits highly outweigh the negatives. Like it's like a choice. What can I hear? I can hear something. Oh, something outside. No, it's like a choice between would you rather have uh, seizures sometimes but not be tired as much, or not have or prevent having seizures but be a bit more tired. It's an easy choice for me. Some people might actually choose not to take them, but yeah, it's more beneficial, and I hope someday in the future that I can go off them and I can live my life like that because I want to live my life with as much natural products in my body, and there's people that put so much into the body that's not natural, that eventually it starts hurting them, and it starts, like, giving them diseases or something like that. There, I don't know how I got into this, but anyway, I will put this on YouTube now. Uh, I have to stop downloading a game. I'm downloading the game, but I can pause it. So it's like if I started uploading now, if I didn't remember to pause the record or the downloading of that game, then this upload would take longer. It would take much longer. Let's say double the time, or maybe two-thirds as quick. So it would definitely take a chunk out of the time. So be, or sorry, add a chunk to the time. So I don't want that. So I want you to see this. So hopefully it's fast. Like so I will see you in a second when I text you. I hope you're not asleep. I love you, babe. I love you so much. Made up songs I don't know how to end. I love you so much. I like my dinner. Nom nom nom.